Hi, I'm Joseph with MRC-TV, and today I'm in front of the Supreme Court where oral arguments are being heard in the case of the Little Sisters of the Poor. The Little Sisters of the Poor claim that the Obamacare mandate violates their religious liberty. The other side says that there's an opt-out provision, but the Little Sisters of the Poor and their supporters say it's not that simple. Today, we're going to talk to both sides and find out exactly what's at stake in this case.
My name is Jacqueline Ayers, and I'm the Director of Legislative Affairs at Planned Parenthood.
Okay.
I'm one of those 99% of women who use birth control, so I wanted to stand here.
99% of women use birth control?
99% of women use birth control.
Why is it important that nuns be forced to comply with the government mandate on birth control?
Well, we're here today on the 6th anniversary of the Affordable Care Act, celebrating the progress that has been made.
Why should this religious organization be forced to comply with the contraception mandate if they're opposed to it from a conscientious perspective?
Well, if they're opposed, the government is simply asking them to complete a form.
And it's a joke because it's essentially a permission slip for the government to come in and hijack the insurance plans of the Little Sisters, of the Christian colleges and universities, and of the priests, and use their plans to still deliver those drugs and devices.
So the ACA says that religious organizations can be accommodated, that they can simply fill out paperwork, and they actually don't have to be required to provide birth control.
If it's as simple as filling out a form, why are is this religious group in such objection to it?
That's a really good question. We should probably ask them.
I wish that was true. The form is actually not an opt-out, it's an opt-in. If the Little Sisters sign it, they allow the government to come in and take over part of their health care plan to provide services that they can't provide.
The argument that the sisters make is that by their signing the form, that kicks in a mechanism by which certain things that they consider immoral and not health care are then provided.
The government actually admitted in its briefing that what happens when they sign the form is it allows the government to come in and take over a portion of their health care plan to provide these services through their own health care plan, and that's what they object to.
Well, so that would be like saying, okay, our employees are not allowed to use their salary to buy whiskey because we don't want to be complicit in people getting drunk.
If a woman is going to work for, say, an evangelical Christian school, if they're going to work for Little Sisters of the Poor, they agree with that school's and that institution's teachings on life. They themselves believe in this themselves. So why is the government forcing these organizations who are doing so much good in the world? They're serving the next generation. They're serving the poor and the elderly. They are providing social welfare programs to our world at no cost to the taxpayer and going after the very motivation that inspires and drives them to do all of the good that they do in this world.
This is not about religious freedom. This is about making sure that women have access to the basic health care that they need, and birth control is a basic right.
In fact, 1 in 3 Americans, 100 million people, do not have health insurance coverage that complies with this mandate. We believe the Little Sisters of the Poor should also be allowed the freedom to continue to serve and to structure their health care according to their belief.
Their religious objections are interfering with my religious imperative to save life.
Billion-dollar corporations such as Pepsi and Exxon don't have to comply with the Obamacare mandate at all.
Catholics, Baptists, people of all faiths are equally supportive and equally likely to use contraception. That's a reality.
But obviously not nuns. I mean, being a nun is its own form of contraception. Other organizations that are not religious have been grandfathered in without having to apply with the mandate, not having to abide by it. Is it unfair that those groups get a pass while the Little Sisters of the Poor, obviously a religious organization, have to abide by it?
They don't have to abide by it. Again, they can
Well, I mean, ExxonMobil doesn't have to fill out a form, right?
I don't know.
But there are many employers who have been given opt-outs from providing coverage.
Non-religious organizations,
Non-religious organizations.
That billion-dollar corporations are getting a free pass, but groups like the nuns, Christian colleges, and priests, the little guys, if you will, have to deliver drugs and devices against their conscience and faith.